Good morning. It is Friday, February 21st, 2025. Waking up with Wesley starts right now. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams, and happy Friday, happy frozen Friday, happy frigid Friday, happy freezing Friday. It is pretty cold out there this morning. So cold we even broke a record. So we got to talk about record-setting cold this morning and take a look at how much longer this cold snap's going to last. Plus, we got your weekend forecast and a look ahead to next week. Could turn milder. And then at the very end of the video, we'll take a little bitty quick peek at next weekend. You know, the big Mardi Gras weekend, the one before Mardi Gras Day. Yeah, it's within 10 days, so we have a look at it in our 10-day forecast. So lots to get to. So let's get started. So here's a look at that record that we set this morning. We hit 28 degrees in Gulfport. Yeah, that's very cold, right? In fact, it's the coldest February 21st temperature ever recorded in the Gulfport Biloxi area. The previous record holder was over a century ago, back in 1898. So that was the last time we had a temperature this cold on a February 21st. So to break a daily record, it's not that hard depending on what the rest of the records were beforehand. And to beat a 29-degree record in February objectively isn't that hard to do. But we managed to do it this time, and surprisingly, there were no other years between now and 1900 that had a colder temperature. So there you are. We just had the coldest February 21st ever recorded in Gulfport, Biloxi, based on those records that date back to the 1890s. So let's check in on those temperatures this morning and see what they are doing. Take a look at the map, and you can see that we do see the temperatures in the 20s in many areas. Pearl River, Stone, and George counties, that's where we have seen the coldest numbers so far this morning. They definitely had a bona fide hard freeze there, where the pipes were certainly in danger. We were wondering if we would see the temperatures on the coast areas south of I-10 get to the mid-20s. Mid-20s is typically when we see pipe issues in South Mississippi. We managed to see upper 20s for some of these places south of I-10, but I don't think we actually went all the way to the mid-20s. We certainly didn't in Gulfport with that 28. So your pipes might not be, noticing too many issues there, but if you did protect them, then you're certainly fine. But even if you didn't protect your pipes south of I-10, maybe you will manage to be spared. Now we take a look at the winds, and there is still a bit of a breeze. Places like Picayune, Gulfport, Biloxi, and Moss Point, Pascagoula, seeing wind speeds between 10 and 15 miles per hour. So we still find very cold wind chill numbers, around 20 for the wind chill in Moss Point, Pascagoula, around 20 in Biloxi, lower 20s in parts of Gulfport and Wool Market and Orange Grove. You also see lower 20s for the wind chill number in Big Level and near Wiggins, around 20 for the wind chill in Picayune. Earlier this morning, we had wind chills into the teens. Anytime you see wind chill in the teens or the lower 20s, that usually triggers one of those cold weather advisories for us. So we still have another hour or so before we're done with that. It goes until 10 o'clock this morning. I do not expect them to issue another one for tonight because it will not be as cold tonight. Here's a look at today. We're looking at those freezing cold temperatures in the morning. Places like Stone County at 32 going to the 9 o'clock hour. Places like Long Beach south of I-10 or Ocean Springs south of I-10 probably in the mid-30s around the 9 o'clock hour. Look at the afternoon. We're all making it to the lower 50s. So it is going to be a nice, dry, sunny day, but not quite where the temperature should be for late February. What's normal for late February? Mid-60s. So to have lower 50s is about, 15 degrees below normal. But at least it's better than yesterday. Yesterday we were stuck in the 40s. We didn't even hit 50 in most places. All right, let's talk about tonight. Is it going to freeze again? And the answer is maybe. It depends on where you live. We are going to see lows in the 30s. If you live in one of those places, generally to the north of I-10, yeah, you get down to near freezing tonight, and that will be after midnight, a very short duration freeze, probably lasting all of 3 or 4 hours. For places that are south of I-10, closer to the coastal waters, thinking Bay St. Louis, Pascagoula, parts of Gulfport, Biloxi that are south of I-10, you might not go all the way to 32. You might be in the mid-30s tonight. So one of the reasons why it won't be as cold tonight is because we're expecting more cloud cover. And also that cold air mass is going to begin to move away from us. So that will keep our temperatures, for the most part, out of the 20s. Now, if you are to the north of our 6 southernmost counties, places like Hattiesburg and Macomb, yeah, very cold 20s possible there. So I got some good news for you. Are you tired of this cold snap? Well, we can already see that our temperature trend will be on the up and up as we go to next week. It's small baby steps over the weekend. We get to around 60 on Saturday and Sunday. But then next week, we go to around 70 for the high temperature. And that actually is above normal for late February. So we go from below normal to above normal on that thermometer over the next several days. Now, as far as your weekend, what do you got planned for the weekend? Got stuff to do on Saturday? Looking dry. What about Sunday? Looking possibly wet. Can't guarantee you rain on Sunday in South Mississippi, but there is looking like a chance. This is our future cast for Sunday, and we'll go full screen on this so I can draw and show you what we're looking at. So Sunday morning, we see a few showers on the Mississippi coast, more rain over Louisiana. All right, let's go to the mid-morning Sunday. Got church plans? There will be some hit or miss showers in South Mississippi. I bet our rain chance around that time will be around 30 or 40%. Meanwhile, Louisiana looking more like a washout. There's widespread, steady showers with embedded downpours near New Orleans Sunday morning. By the way, if you're traveling east to Mobile, doesn't look like much rain over there, as well as Pensacola, Florida. All right, middle of the day. Midday Sunday, maybe brunching, maybe lunching, hit or miss showers on the Mississippi coast. So, and this is really on a gradient from west to east. So you can kind of really fine tune it and split the hair and talk about places that are like Jackson and George counties, Lucedale, Ocean Springs, Bendale, Van Cleve, Gaucher, Pascagoula. Those are all places that might not see much rain for the first part of Sunday. But you go west of Highway 49 over toward Hancock and Pearl River counties, and it looks pretty wet there. They would probably have the majority of that 50%, if not 60% rain chance on Sunday around midday. What about the afternoon? We're still seeing some of these showers. At this point, looks like even George and Jackson counties getting in on it. So this Sunday afternoon time frame could be when we see some of the rain chance maximized based on this one run of this one computer model. And then maybe we see a decrease in rain potential later at night. But remember, this is just one run of one computer model. I can kind of look under the hood and let you all in on the nitty-gritty details that I look at to help create the forecast. I look at multiple computer models to help create the forecast. And this is a look at Sunday. Notice for South Mississippi, the first portion of Sunday, the first 8 hours of Sunday, look mostly dry. Although in Hancock County, places near Diamond Head and Waveland, you could see some of those showers. Now in the middle of Sunday, it still looks like one model, the European model, calling for kind of that west-east split, where if you're west of Highway 49, looks like it could be kind of wet. East of Highway 49, maybe not so much. But then the second model scenario actually just throws a green bucket of paint over the whole map. Everybody gets wet. And then you've got the end of the day, and both models agree that we're going to see rain in at least all of the coastal counties. So this is a trend that we're monitoring. If the trend continues to increase those rain chances, then you're going to see that reflected on our 7-day. So be checking back for this evening. Maybe our evening shift that comes in later today will adjust those Sunday rain chances depending on what the models are doing. Maybe that chance goes up to 60%, 70%. We'll see. But if you have plans on Sunday, you want to pack a poncho if you're going to be attending any outdoor activities. Bring an umbrella as well. And then looks like dry conditions as we go to next week with temperatures in the 70s. Real quick, right before we go, I do want to take a look at that 10-day. We mentioned we would briefly peek at, not this weekend, but next weekend, the big one for Mardi Gras. And notice that Okay, the rain chances looking pretty low for next Saturday, March 1st, and next Sunday, March 2nd. But the temperatures are pretty mild. No giant cool down. So we have, of course, plans for next weekend's parades, which are, the big ones right before Mardi Gras Day. You got the Pascagoula parade on Saturday. You have other parades in the evening as well. On Sunday, you got the Pass Parade. There's also going to be parades following that in the following days, but at least for the weekend, mild. Now, maybe we get a cold front that comes in, on Lundi Gras or on Mardi Gras Day. It's too early to know. But at least for the weekend before Mardi Gras, right now, looks more likely than not that it will be mild with slight rain chances. But we'll, of course, keep checking back as things are adjusted in the coming days. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.